Morning, Trainiacs. Morning. Just about to go do a hill run, aka a leg extravaganza. Like if you want to build leg strength and become a really strong runner, like a physically strong runner, that you don't fade towards the end of the run, you can deal with hills, you're durable, hill running's how to do it. I just had to come grab you. Hill running is one of like the best things that I've ever come across for supercharging your runs. Like it sounds a little bit silly, but back in 2018, as I was getting ready for the season, I wasn't really running a lot because I had a really bad Achilles injury. So the longest run that I did leading into half Ironman Coeur d'Alene was a 17K run. The other longest run was a 14K run, but besides that, all I had done was maybe half a dozen to a dozen or so 10 or 12K runs. Like really bad preparation for a half Ironman. But I did all of those 10 to 17 kilometer runs on a hill, the hill that we're going to today. And I actually had, I would say still the second or third best run of any half Ironman I've ever done. And obviously it's not because I ran that much more, it's because the running that I did was that much more impactful. It's legit. So here's the thing about strength training and running and hill running. Strength training in the gym, perfectly good. That's like an off-season thing, like you're building your raw power. But that raw power doesn't necessarily translate to swimming, biking, or running unless you do some sport-specific strength movements. So sport-specific strength movements are like paddles and stretch cords in the swim, low gear, low cadence work on the bike, and hill running on the run. Because you're getting, right now, going downhill, all that eccentric loading. It's like the lowering part of a strength movement. Like as you're lowering yourself down with a squat. But then when you're climbing up a hill, that's like the concentric part, the contraction, the power building. What it ends up creating is like really durable muscles in your legs. There's something called muscular endurance. That's your ability to perform the same action over and over under load without muscular failure. And you build muscular endurance with strength work. And instead of going and doing like 100 walking lunges, you go and do a run on hills. But you do not want to just jump right into it, because hill running really hard on the body. So what we do on teamtrainiac.com is, as we start ramping down the amount of real brute strength work that we do in the gym, around January, February, we start introducing like 8-second hard hill reps, which we gradually extend to longer and longer reps. And then we start adding in, all right, do this short run on trails. And then we say, all right, do this short run on more intense hills. Until the point you can go out and do full long runs on hills. Now, one thing that you're gonna have to know is your pace if you're doing zone 2 runs, really going to ramp down. It is going to be slow, but that is completely okay, because if your heart rate's in the right spot, you're still getting the fitness physiological adaptation that you need, and in addition to that, building strength in your legs, building that muscle durability, and that is going to pay huge dividends when you actually get into a race and you've got to run tired. Also got celebrity guest videographer NTK here. Hi. Windy. That is 10K in an hour, 6 minutes per kilometer. See, very slow. But you know what? Like I think I'm more jazzed up about that run than I am a 5:35 per kilometer run that I did last week, because this is like sort of the same pace I've been running at, but at hills, and it's a big step back towards fitness. I'm sure you haven't heard anything I've said because of the wind. Done. ABH, triathletes, always be hydrating. So I kind of just touched on a few of the things, like the leg durability. That's a legitimate thing, just more bang for your buck. Running, if you're doing zone 2 running, you get the zone 2 benefit, but then you get leg strength benefit when you hill run. You also, I didn't talk about this, but when you're going uphill and you're doing hard intervals uphill, you're basically forced to run with really good technique. You've got to lean forward, you've got to stay really upright, you got to drive your hands a lot, you got to drive your knees a lot. So the benefits of hill running are just on and on and on. And you might say, like, well, Taren, you ran really slow there, 6 minutes per kilometer. That's way slower than what you'd want to do in a race. Well, that's basically what I did all of 2018 at the beginning, and hadn't done any fast running right up until Half Ironman Coeur d'Alene. Still went and ran. I think that was an average of 4:32 per kilometer. You know what? The only pace that counts is race pace in a race. What you do in training doesn't matter, as long as you get to the race and accomplish what you need to, and hill running helps with that. So here's how we do hill running on Team Trainiac. In the, say, January, February, the strength and speed building season, where we want to start building the ability to go really hard, and we want to start building the body's ability to handle hills, we don't just say, all right, go run hills. What we start with is 8-second bursts, and we'll do something like 8 to 12 8-second bursts up the steepest hill you possibly can, with lots of rest, 2, 3, 4 minutes rest in between. And that's going to really activate a lot of the muscle groups that you need for hill running, and it gives you a whole big rest, so it's not too tough on the body. Now what we do is we start extending those hill reps and shortening the rest. So we build up to gradually 1-2 minute hill intervals with shorter and shorter rest, like a 1-to-1, like a 1 minute hill, 1 minute, jog your way back down, and then come up kind of rest. And then by the time we get into roughly March or so, we get into recommending that athletes do a lot, like the vast majority of their long runs, on hills, on trails. It's going to help build that strength in longer and longer intervals, longer and longer runs. In addition to that, I forgot to mention this, it builds that proprioceptive awareness, that body awareness, because you've got to move your feet side to side on all the hills, on all the trails. You're just more aware of your body. This makes you a better athlete, which makes you a better triathlete. Now, before you start going out and knocking off all kinds of hills, remember that
we take a long time on Team Trainiac, and what I've taken a long time just personally to do is to build up the ability that I can go and run hills anytime. Some of the things that you might experience are a fair bit of pain in your lower leg if you go too hard, too fast, too soon. One of the big things that you've got to make sure is addressed is your calf flexibility, because you're leaning forward so much and your lower leg is essentially really stressed. So you've got to make sure that your calf is nice and loose. And say about 3 times a week, what you can do is like 3 times a week, holding it for about 2 to 3 minutes each side. It's just some calf mobility work like this. Get that back leg back there, load it up with a little bit of tension, move back and forth, and then you can even go back and forth between that and that. But you want to accumulate a total of about 2 to 3 minutes of stretching with each side. And that's going to make sure that you are a lot better adapted to hitting the hills. So with all that said, with me running a grand total of 2.5 hours in a week right now, while there's no racing, training is really, really light, just letting the body recover in the entire second half of 2020. I'm only running 3 times, so to make sure that I'm getting the most out of those 3 times that I can, I'm running hills. In other news, look at NTK, No Triathlon Kim's little paradise garden here. It's really coming in nicely. Fortunately, Gracie, the pig in a Labrador Retriever costume, hasn't eaten any of the tomatoes. If she did that, Lord help her. Wouldn't be good. So Trainiacs, that's hill running. If you aren't already subscribed and you like triathlon news, information, tips, guidance, training, topics, gear reviews, all those things, we put out videos every single week. Hit the subscribe button below. Later.